Have you ever wondered if the best part of your life maybe hasn't even happened yet? What if I told you there's still time, that your story isn't over, and the next chapters could be the most surprising of all? This video is for you, who's already lived so much but feels there's still something inside you the world needs to see. A flame that hasn't gone out yet. Today, we're talking about new beginnings, about rediscovering courage, joy, and purpose, even when the world seems to have forgotten you. Because the truth is, you can still surprise the world and yourself. In the next few minutes, you'll hear real stories, powerful reflections, and truths maybe no one has ever told you. There's still time. It's still worth it. And yes, you can still do something extraordinary with the life you have right now. The illusion of the end. All our lives, we're taught to run, to achieve, to work, accumulate, build. But few talk about what comes after. Few prepare us for the moment we look back and ask, now what? Silently, society imposes a cruel idea that after a certain age, there's nothing left to do. As if our usefulness expires, as if we're parts that have served their purpose. Retired not just from work, but from life. They tell us, it's time to rest, to let the younger ones take over, to stop dreaming. And little by little, many of us start to believe it, to believe we've given all we had to give. That now, all that's left is to wait for time to pass. But that's an illusion. A lie repeated so often, many accept it as truth. Because the reality, and maybe you need to hear this right now, is that as long as there's life, there's possibility. Yes, the body changes, the rhythm slows, but the heart can still feel, love, be moved. The mind is still fertile. Dreams may change shape, but they don't lose their worth. Think of all you've overcome, everything you've lived. How many times life brought you to your knees, and still you got back up. This isn't the end, this is experience, this is strength, this is the start of a new cycle. Different, yes, but full of meaning. There are incredible stories of people who dared not believe in the illusion of the end. A 72-year-old woman who started painting after a lifetime as a teacher. She'd never held a brush, but found in colors a new way to tell stories. A 68-year-old widower who learned to type and published his first memoir. He said writing was like talking to the whole world and finally being heard. And a woman who, at 75, tired of loneliness, began baking cakes at home. Over time, she became the talk of the neighborhood. Now her grandchildren sell her treats online. She smiles when she says, "Retirement gave me a new life." These people aren't exceptions. They're proof, living proof, that it's never too late to start again. What separates those who keep going from those who stop isn't age, but the courage to believe they still can. If today you feel like it's all passed you by, like there's no room for something new, remember, maybe you're just closing one chapter and about to open the most beautiful one yet. Don't let anyone tell you when your story should. Because no one but you gets to write the ending. And sometimes, what looks like the end is just the beginning in disguise. The seasons of life. Nature teaches us something we often forget. Everything in life has its time. There's the spring of youth, full of dreams, flowers, and energy. There's the summer of adulthood, when we work, create, and strive. Then comes autumn, when the leaves fall, but the landscape fills with deep, mature colors. And then arrives winter, where everything seems to slow down, yet remains beautiful. The problem is, we live in a culture that only values summer. Productivity, hustle, noise. We're made to believe that life's worth lies in what we produce, what we achieve, what we display. But real life is in the details we only notice when the dust settles, when silence finally arrives. Every phase of life has its purpose, its beauty, its mission. Youth is energy, old age is wisdom, and this isn't just a cliche, it's a profound truth. Only those who've lived can understand certain things. Only those who've had their hearts broken and knew how to start over. Only those who've lost and learned to appreciate. Only those who've watched time pass and never regretted stopping to watch the sunset. There's a richness in maturity that can't be bought or taught in books. It's the gaze that knows when to stay silent, the gesture that welcomes without judgment, the words that come with gentleness because they've learned that everything passes, even pain. Life after 60 isn't the end of the road. It's a new path. It's when the noise fades and we can finally hear our own voice. It's when we stop trying to please everyone and start living with more lightness, more truth, more freedom. How many times have you said, "If only I knew then what I know now"? Well, now you do, and you're still here. That means now, more than ever, you have the power to live with awareness, to make wiser choices, to teach, to inspire, to change. Autumn isn't sad. It's golden. It's strong. It's beautiful. And winter. Winter. Winter is when we learn that silence is also an answer, that rest is also deserved, that love can be quieter but no less deep. And if you look closely, you'll see that many flowers bloom right after winter. Life is made of seasons, and each one has something precious to offer. Don't mourn the time that's passed. Celebrate what it gave you, because now is the moment to harvest fruits that only ripen with time. The courage to start over, starting over. These 3 words carry a weight only those who've lived long can truly understand, because starting over demands something rare. It takes humility to accept that something has ended. It takes courage to let go of what was comfortable. And it takes faith to believe that, even without guarantees, there's still a path ahead. Many think new beginnings are for the young, but that's a mistake. Starting over has no age. Starting over is deeply human. And the more we live, the more we understand what truly matters in this process. The problem is, as we age, society no longer expects movement from us. It expects us to settle, to stay quiet, to accept the end without question. But what if you don't? What if you decide you're not done yet? Imagine a 66-year-old woman. She spent decades caring for her home, her children, her husband. When they moved on, she found herself alone, lost without a clear role. Instead of surrendering to loneliness, she chose to learn something new. She went to the park with a little notebook and started writing. Scattered words, stories, memories. A year later, she self-published a book. Simple, but full of soul. Today, other women write alongside her. Starting over doesn't have to be grand in the world's eyes. It just has to mean something to you. Maybe it's a craft class, a sunrise, walk sharing coffee with new friends. Maybe it's learning to use a phone to talk to your grandkids. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you move, that you tell yourself, there's still more to live. Some think courage belongs to the young, but no, the truest. Courage comes with maturity. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting in spite of it. It's knowing time is limited and still choosing to use what's left well. And if life teaches us anything, it's that it doesn't follow a predictable script. Sometimes what we thought was the end was just the push we needed for a new beginning. Starting over isn't failure. It's a choice. It's a silent shout that says, I'm still here. I can still learn. I can still contribute. I can still feel joy. So if something inside you still flickers even faintly, listen. Honor it, because sometimes all life is waiting for is for you to take the first step. You are not alone. Maybe at some point you've thought no one understands how you feel, that no one else sees the world the way you do, that growing older means little by little losing your place and the people in it. Maybe you're surrounded by others yet still feel alone. The truth is, many, thousands are feeling exactly this right now. And the saddest part? No one talks about it. Loneliness in later life is silent. It creeps in slowly, between a child who calls less, a friend who's gone, a neighbor who moved away. It settles in the corners of the house and the heart. But here's what you need to remember. You are not alone. So many others are feeling the same pains, facing the same emptiness, searching, just like you, for new meaning. And there are places, spaces, and circles where these paths cross. Community groups, book clubs, art workshops, people gathering to learn, to laugh, to share memories. In neighborhoods, community centers, and cultural hubs, older adults are rediscovering one another and thriving. People who'd never danced are now swaying in salsa circles. And ballroom classes. Men who never imagined holding a brush now paint canvases full of color. Lives that seemed quiet have found the sound of joy again. And when these connections happen, something shifts inside. We realize pain lessens when shared. Laughter multiplies when passed around. That life, no matter how long it's been, can still surprise us, especially when we have someone to share it with. Today, right now, you can choose to step out of isolation, reach out, send a message, visit a community center, join a class or support group. Maybe in one of these spaces you'll meet someone who changes your days, or maybe you'll be that person for someone else. Because something magical happens when two seasoned souls meet. They don't need to prove anything. They don't compete or compare. They simply recognize each other. And that is love. That is presence. That is life. So if you're feeling lonely today, don't think you're weak or the only one. Think, maybe it's time to reconnect and remember, you are not alone. You never were. Rediscovering simple joy. With time, we learn that real joy isn't in grand achievements, not in applause, faraway trips, or full bank accounts. Real joy lives in the small moments, but sometimes we forget. Sometimes life's rush trains us to chase the extraordinary, and we grow blind to what matters until maturity arrives. And with it, the chance to see life through new eyes. Maybe you remember being a child, a warm slice of cake, the smell of grandma's coffee, the sound of rain on the roof. That was enough to make the day happy, and believe it, it still is. Rediscovering. Simple joy is a gift time offers us, but not everyone accepts. You must slow down, be present, relearn how to see. Watch the sky shift colors at dusk. Notice a flower blooming in the yard. See a grandchild's smile, a friend's visit, a pet's affection. This is what life is made of, and it's when we look away from big expectations that we finally see the beauty already here. A 70-year-old man once told me, "I spent my whole life chasing happiness. Turns out it lived on my porch. I was just always looking past it." That's wisdom. And you, now, are at a stage where you can savor this. No rush, no pressure, no need to prove anything to anyone. You can relish a quiet afternoon, an old book, a song that brings back memories. You can walk slower and see more than you ever have. Simple joy doesn't need an audience. It just needs presence. So, if life ever feels dim, ask yourself, what have I forgotten to see? Maybe you don't need something new. Maybe you just need to look again, with your heart. Maturity doesn't have to be a time of loss. It can be a reunion with what's essential, and the essential is simple, light, beautiful. It's right here, in front of you. You still inspire. You might not realize it, but someone out there looks up to you. Maybe it's a grandchild watching you quietly, a neighbor who admires your courage to keep walking forward every day, a friend who feels stronger just hearing you speak. Even if you're no longer in the spotlight, even if you think no one is paying attention, know this: your story matters. Your existence has an impact, because living is no small thing. Living for 60, 70, 80 years, enduring, loving, falling, and getting back up, is one of the greatest displays of strength anyone can offer the world. You've faced loss, battled illness, overcome disappointments, started over more times than you can count, and yet here you are, maybe with a few more lines on your face, but with so much more light in your eyes. And that light, even if you don't see it, shines on those around you. Today, so many young people feel lost, tired, confused, and what they need most isn't ready-made advice. It's real-life examples, and all. You are that example. When you share a story, you pass down wisdom. When you smile through pain, you teach resilience. When you keep going despite limitations, you show what courage looks like. Don't underestimate your presence. You're still teaching. Even in silence, you're still making a difference. Without even realizing it, a simple gesture from you can leave a lasting mark. A single word at the right moment can change the course of a life. There is strength in living, and living with dignity, grace, and authenticity. Good is one of the greatest legacies anyone can leave. So the next time you think your time has passed, remember, your influence never ends. Because when someone lives with truth, they become eternal in the hearts of those around them. You still inspire, and you always will. As long as someone is looking at you with love and seeing all that you represent, it's never too late to learn. Who said learning is just for the young? Who decided that after a certain age it's no longer worth trying something new? The truth is, the mind doesn't age the same way the body does. It stays curious, alive, hungry to grow, and more than that. It now has something youth doesn't: the wisdom to absorb what truly matters. Learning at 60, 70, 80 isn't just possible. It's transformative. I've seen women who, after raising children and grandchildren, went back to studying, not out of obligation but for joy. They started learning languages, painting, embroidery, history, even technology, with a spark in their eyes, with the enthusiasm of a teenager. And why not? Learning has no expiration date. A mind that opens itself to a new idea never shrinks back to its old size. Every new lesson is a way to renew life, like airing out a house that's been closed up too long. It brings light, movement, energy. And it doesn't have to be something grand. It could be a new recipe, learning to use a phone to watch videos, send messages, discovering a new plant, a new author, a new way of seeing the world. What matters is staying in motion, keeping the spark of curiosity alive. Because as long as you're learning, there's youth, not the kind in the body, but the kind in the soul, and that no one can take from you. Think about it. Every day is a chance to discover something you didn't know. Every experience, an opportunity to grow inside. The world is full of possibilities, and you, with all you've lived, have an incredible ability to learn deeply, to connect the dots, to see meaning where others might not. Life isn't over. It's just changed its rhythm. And now you can dance to this new song with slower but far more intentional steps. So the next time you feel like it's too late, remember, it's not. It never was. It never will be. As long as there's willingness, there's a way you can still learn, and in learning you can be reborn a little more every day. The power of presence. In a world that's always rushing, full of distractions and noise, true strength lies in being present. Being present isn't just about existing. It's about being attentive, aware, fully connected to the moment you're living. For those who've lived many years, presence becomes a precious gift, because it's in this very moment, here and now, that we find peace, clarity, and meaning. Have you noticed how the simplest moments shine brighter when we're truly present? The taste of coffee, a conversation with a friend, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of birds in the morning. The time we spend with loved ones doesn't come back, but the quality of that time can transform memories, strengthen bonds, and warm hearts, even in hardship, in pain, exhaustion, or loss. Being present gives us the strength to keep going. When you give someone your full attention, you're telling them, you matter. I'm here with you. That's one of the greatest acts of love we can offer. Presence is the opposite of letting life pass you by. It's resisting the habit of living on autopilot. It's remembering that every moment is unique, that life won't wait. For those with decades of stories behind them, presence may be the greatest gift you give yourself. Because when you're present, you're honoring your own existence. You're celebrating every small detail that makes up your life. And this presence doesn't need to be grand. It can be as simple as listening deeply, looking someone in the eyes, or holding a friend's hand. In the silence of presence, life reveals its deepest secrets. So today, here's the message. Be present for yourself. Be present for those you love. Because in the end, presence is the purest way to truly be alive. Turning challenges into opportunities. Life, especially in our later years, brings its share of challenges. Changing. Health, losses that hurt, new limitations. But every challenge also carries an opportunity. A chance to grow, to learn, to reinvent yourself. When we face difficulties with a fresh perspective, we discover strengths we never knew we had. That pain, that felt like an ending, might be the start of a new journey. That unexpected change could open doors to paths you've never walked. Of course, it's not easy. This isn't about denying the pain. It's about acknowledging it and still moving forward. Many who've faced great trials have found renewed purpose on the other side. People who lost something important discovered hidden talents. Stories of those who turned what seemed like failure into wisdom and beauty. And you can do this too. You can look within and find the strength to transform your today. Because every challenge is an invitation to reinvent yourself, to discover that life still has so much to offer. And when you accept that invitation, you emerge stronger, wiser, more alive. So if you're facing a difficulty right now, remember, you can turn this challenge into an opportunity, and in doing so, you won't just renew yourself, you'll inspire everyone around you. The importance of self-care. As the years go by, taking care of yourself becomes more essential than ever, not just for your body but for your mind and spirit too. Self-care isn't selfish, it's an act of self-love. It's recognizing that you deserve attention, respect and kindness, from yourself to yourself. Too often, routines and responsibilities make us forget this. We take care of others, tasks and worries, but we neglect what's most important, taking care of ourselves. But remember, to be there. For others, you first need to be well yourself. Self-care can be simple: a walk in the park, a healthy meal, well-deserved rest, or a quiet moment to breathe. It can also mean nurturing your mind through reading, meditation, music, or a hobby that soothes your soul. It's about understanding that you are a whole being, worthy of care in every way. When you take care of yourself, you strengthen your ability to live with more quality, joy, and peace. And this reflects in everything around you. Self-care is a gift you give yourself every day. And remember, it's never too late to start taking better care of yourself. Because you always deserve the best. The power of gratitude. Gratitude is a seed that, when planted in the heart, blossoms into joy. It's a simple yet powerful feeling, capable of transforming how we see life. As the years pass, we often focus on what we lack, what we've lost, or the challenges we face, and that's natural. But gratitude invites us to look at what's still here. At the small daily blessings, the sun warming your skin, the tight hug from a child, the smile that lights up a friend's face, the health that remains, even if fragile, the simple fact of waking up to a new day. When we practice gratitude, we make space for genuine happiness, for the peace that comes from recognizing that, despite losses and struggles, there's still so much to be thankful for. This practice doesn't require grand rituals, just a mindful moment, even a silent thank you. Gratitude helps us find meaning in our journey, gives us strength to keep going, and connects us to what truly matters. So nurture gratitude in your daily life. Make it a habit, and you'll see that life, with all its ups and downs, can still be a path of beauty and light. Gratitude turns what we have into enough, and so much more. Your legacy is just beginning. Have you ever stopped to think that your legacy is far from over? That even now, at this very moment, you still have so much to offer the world? We often believe legacies are built only in youth, or that they're measured by grand achievements or material possessions. But a true legacy goes far beyond that. It lives in the stories you tell, the lessons you share, the love you give, the courage you show with each new day. Your legacy is the sum of every moment you chose to keep going, even when it felt impossible. It's the strength you pass on to your family, friends, and community. And that strength inspires future generations who look at you and see a life lived fully, a testament to resilience and hope. No matter your age, your legacy is only just beginning. Every day you plant seeds that will bloom far beyond what you can imagine. So live with intention, love deeply. Keep dreaming, learning, and surprising the world and yourself, because life is a gift and the best is yet to come. You still can, you still will, and the world will still be amazed by your story. Closing message. And so, dear friend, let this be your reminder. Life has no expiration date for new beginnings, surprises, or the blossoming of your soul. You can still surprise the world, and most importantly, yourself. If this message touched your heart, if it brought light to your day, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone you love, with someone who needs to hear it's never too late to live fully. Leave a comment with your story, your dream, or that moment you surprised yourself with your own strength. Together, let's build a community of support, courage, and inspiration for all ages, because here age is just a number and life an infinity of possibilities. Thank you for being here. Until next time, with more wisdom and more hope.